The following footage was all recorded on Legendary. What's up guys, Hokie Bird here, bringing you episode 4 of Hokie's School of Halo. In this episode we're going to be going over the Covenant. In Halo Combat Evolved, there are 4 different species of Covenant that you'll face off against throughout the course of the campaign. You've got the Grunts, Elites, Jackals, and Hunters. Once again, I'll be covering each of these classes in the order that you encounter them in the game, so first up we have the Grunts. Grunts are the lowest ranking class in the Covenant. They're used primarily as cannon fodder in combat. Standing approximately 5 feet tall and lacking any significant armor or shielding, they're fairly weak and can be killed rather easily by a single headshot or an explosion. They almost always come in packs and are usually led by one or more elites. They're poorly trained and rely heavily on leadership from elites in combat. They often fall into chaos and disarray when their leader is killed, although if there are enough of them, they may stand their ground and fight as a pack. Grunts are some of the most easily underestimated enemies on Legendary. They're fairly weak on the lower difficulties, but on Legendary, they can be quite resilient unless you shoot them in the head. If you foolishly decide to not use cover, large groups of grunts can easily surround and overwhelm you. Now in Halo Combat Evolved, there are only 3 types of grunts: grunt minors, grunt majors, and grunt spec ops. Minors and majors are the 2 types of grunts that you'll mostly encounter, and grunt spec ops aren't encountered until the mission 2 Betrayals. Grunt minors and majors have orange and red armor respectively, and will fight with either a plasma pistol or needler. Grunt Spec Ops will have black armor and will be armed with either a needler or a fuel rod cannon, the latter of which will detonate when dropped by the grunt carrying it. Grunts absolutely love to throw plasma grenades on Legendary, a tactic that can be rather irksome if you have Marines with you, since they aren't very good at evading said grenades. In general, when I'm going up against grunts, I'll try to take them out from range with a single headshot from the pistol or sniper rifle. Occasionally, when they bunch up, I'll use a grenade to take out a bunch of them at once, but I'll rarely ever waste my rockets on them. In more desperate situations, such as the entire Truth and Reconciliation mission, it can be effective to kill them with a few body shots from a plasma pistol, plasma rifle, or if you're really desperate, the assault rifle. But normally, headshots and grenades are your best options. Next up, we have the Elites. Standing approximately 8.5 feet tall, Elites are the highest ranking class of Covenant that you'll see in the game. They're fast, strong, smart, and dangerous. They'll often lead squads of Grunts and Jackals in combat and should always be considered as top priority targets. They have the same full-body combat shielding system that you do, although theirs can take more damage than yours, but takes longer to recharge. In Halo Combat Evolved, there are 5 types of elites: Elite Minors, Elite Majors, Elite Stealth, Elite Commanders, and Elite Spec Ops. The most common types of elites that you'll encounter are the Blue Minors and Red Majors, and they'll be armed with either a plasma rifle or a needler, the plasma rifle variant being much more common. The most basic way to kill elites is to deplete their shield and then shoot them enough times while their shield is down until they fall. On the lower difficulties, you can do this with just about any weapon because the enemies are so weak, but on Legendary, you need to know which weapons are better for stripping shields and which weapons are better against flesh and bone. As it so happens, I covered exactly this in episode 1, plasma for the shields, bullets to the brain. Plasma-based weaponry is particularly effective at depleting shields and can easily be replaced when the battery runs low by picking up the weapons of defeated enemies. Ballistic weaponry, however, isn't particularly effective at breaking shields, and ammo for them tends to be a bit rare. So the general mindset that I use is to use my less valuable ammo to strip shields, and then to switch to a pistol or sniper rifle to finish them off with a headshot. Now, everything I'm about to say was covered in episodes 1 and 2, but I feel that it's important enough to warrant repeating. The most efficient way to kill an elite is to use an overcharged plasma pistol shot to completely drain its shield, and then follow that up with a headshot from either the pistol or the sniper rifle. Sticking them with a plasma grenade while they're stunned also works if you're close enough to manage it. If you have a sniper rifle, you can snipe blue elite miners in one shot if you shoot them in the head. If you miss the head, you'll only drain their shield and you'll need to follow up with another shot to get the job done. Red elite majors, however, have stronger shields than the blue miners, and they can completely absorb a round from the sniper rifle on legendary. A follow-up shot will get the job done, but because you can't deplete the shield with the first shot anyway, it means that it's not necessary to aim for the head when sniping red elites. The next type of elites that you'll encounter are the stealth elites. These guys have active camouflage, but they lack shields, so technically this means that you can kill stealth elites with a single headshot, but it's really difficult to land said headshot because A, they're really hard to see, and B, because you get no aim assist while they're still invisible. Once their active camouflage is broken, the aim assist will kick in, but before then, the reticle won't turn red while you're aiming at them, and as a result, you get no aim assist. Stealthy elites will carry either a plasma rifle or an energy sword, and you'll first see them at the start of the Belly of the Beast fight during the Truth and Reconciliation mission. These guys are rarely seen throughout the campaign, and if you follow my legendary guides, you should have little trouble dealing with them. The highest ranking elites in the game are the Gold Elite Commanders. Like the Stealth Elites, they'll be armed with either a plasma rifle or an energy sword, but unlike the Stealth Elites, they have the strongest shields in the game. They can shrug off 2 rounds from the sniper rifle and even a rocket from the rocket launcher, though fortunately not both. The plasma pistol still completely drains their shields with a single overcharged EMP shot, and then you can follow that up with a headshot or plasma grenade stick. Elite commanders with an energy sword can kill you in one swipe, and elite commanders with plasma rifles fire them more accurately and from longer range than standard elites. Both variants should be considered high priority targets and should be dealt with as soon as possible. The last and most rare type of elite is the Spec Ops elite. These guys only make an appearance during the last 2 missions of the game. They're distinguished by their black armor and the fact that they're the only elites in the game that throw grenades. Unlike the Grunts, which are the only other enemies in the game that throw grenades, these guys don't just lob their grenades at you, they downright hurl them. They throw them hard and very, very accurately, even at long distances. When they aren't bombarding you with grenades, Spec Ops elites will fight with either a plasma rifle or needler, the latter variant being much less common. Individually, the only real difference between these guys and the Gold Elite Commanders is the fact that they use grenades and have very slightly weaker shields, though they're still stronger than the shields of Elite Majors. Next up, we have the Jackals. Jackals stand approximately 6 feet tall and are first encountered on the first dropship of the tower encounter of the Halo mission. They carry enormous energy shields on their arms, which they'll hide behind during combat while they use a small notch in the side to return fire. They fight with only a plasma pistol, but they're the only enemies in the game that will use the overcharged EMP shot against you. In Halo Combat Evolved, there are only 2 types of Jackals: Jackal Miners with the blue shields and Jackal Majors with yellowish-orange ones. Despite having no additional shielding other than the one they carry on their arm, Jackals can be very difficult to shoot. They are impossible to hit if they're crouching down behind their shields, and unlike Elite's combat shields, their shields will deflect any ballistic rounds you shoot at them, as well as the rounds from the Needler. This means that the only way to deplete a Jackal's shield is to shoot it with either a plasma pistol or a plasma rifle, but because the shield is so strong, your only real practical option, especially on Legendary, is to use an overcharged EMP shot from the plasma pistol. The good news about Jackals is that while they're crouching down behind their shields, they can't move. This means that grenades are an exceptionally effective weapon to use against them when they do this, since they usually won't be able to evade the grenade, and even if they do, they'll have to expose their head and body from behind the shield, meaning that you can dispatch them with a single headshot from the pistol or sniper rifle. The other good news about Jackals is that the shield on their arm is their only defense, meaning that when they're not protecting their heads with their shields, it's possible to shoot around the shield and kill them with a single headshot instead of pulling out your plasma pistol to drain their shields with an EMP shot. Occasionally Jackals can be a pain, but as long as you've got either grenades or a plasma pistol with you, you should be able to deal with them without too many problems. Last up, we have the Hunters, which are first encountered during the Truth and Reconciliation mission. Hunters stand approximately 12 feet tall when idle, but they crouch down to about 8 feet tall when they're in combat. They are the most heavily armed and armored species of Covenant and are always deployed in pairs. More closely resembling tanks than soldiers, Hunters are armed with a fuel rod cannon on their right arm, which is integrated into their armor, meaning that you can't pick it up and use it. And on their left arm, they have a shield that is impervious to absolutely everything. The shield not only serves as a way to protect them from incoming fire, but they'll also use it as a melee weapon if you get close enough. Beneath their impenetrable shield and armor, however, is very vulnerable orange skin. This is the Hunter's weak point and is the only point on the Hunter worth shooting. There are 3 places on the Hunter where you can shoot its skin: the back, the belly, and the neck. The easiest of these 3 is the back, since it is completely exposed and can be accessed simply by getting behind the Hunter. The next easiest place to shoot the Hunter is in the belly. This can only really be done while the Hunter is in mid-melee attack though, because it covers this area with its impenetrable shield at all other times. The last and most difficult place to shoot a Hunter's skin is the front of the neck. The only reason I'm even mentioning this is because it's technically possible, though it's certainly not feasible during combat. Hunters are so tall that they're almost always looking down at you, and their armored head effectively covers their neck. This makes the area that you can shoot about the size of a pinpoint. Now, the significance of these weak points is difficult to see with any of the automatic weapons, but with a pistol or sniper rifle it becomes clear. These weak points are where the Hunter's headshot areas are located. Now, later games in the series would permanently change this, but in Halo Combat Evolved, if you shoot a Hunter anywhere on its exposed orange skin with a headshot-capable weapon, you'll kill it instantly. In Episode 2, we learned that the only 2 headshot-capable weapons in the game are the pistol and the sniper rifle, so it follows that you should always have a pistol or sniper rifle on you when going up against Hunters. Fighting a Hunter at medium-long range is a losing battle. Their fuel rod cannon is essentially the Covenant equivalent of a rocket launcher, and at medium-long range, you're eventually going to get hit by it. The single most effective way to deal with Hunters is to get up close and personal. When you get in a Hunter's face, it won't use its fuel rod cannon against you, but instead it'll try to melee you with its shield. Again, later games in the series would permanently change this, but Hunter's melee attacks in Halo Combat Evolved are very easy to dodge. All you have to do is sidestep them to your left, like so. This combination of being able to easily dodge Hunter's melee attacks and the fact that you can kill them instantly with a headshot from the pistol or sniper rifle means that Hunters in Halo Combat Evolved are a total joke. They're so easy, in fact, that as long as you don't have anything else shooting at you to worry about, you can even melee one to death. Additional alternatives to the pistol or sniper rifle include the rocket launcher, which will take 2 rockets to kill each Hunter on Legendary, or the shotgun, which will take 2 or 3 shots depending on how many pellets hit. Hunters may have the biggest, baddest weapons and armor in the game, but their weaknesses are so profound that they're actually some of the easiest enemies that you'll go up against. Alright guys, that is just about going to wrap up episode 4. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you learned something, and I hope you'll join me in the next episode where I'll be going over the other set of enemies that you'll find in the game. Grab your reading glasses because we're headed to the library. See you later, guys.